Every civilization left behind monuments, but beneath every empire lies an older mystery, one that began with the first man and the first woman. Across continents and centuries, societies answered that mystery differently. Yet almost every civilization tried to define the place of men and women. Laws were written, traditions were inherited, customs became truths. But were they born from wisdom or from something far more human? Men conquered kingdoms, crossed oceans, and fought impossible wars. Courage became their greatest virtue, or so history remembered. Yet beyond the battlefield existed another kind of strength, one that healed wounds instead of creating them, one that built homes instead of empires. A mother's embrace could calm what no sword ever could. Warmth is invisible, yet it has shaped every generation of humanity. Perhaps the greatest fear was never losing a battle, but discovering someone whose presence brought peace stronger than power. When fear cannot be defeated, it often builds walls, not always from stone, but from beliefs, traditions, and silent distance. And as centuries passed, those invisible walls slowly transformed into institutions, customs, and rules that people eventually mistook for nature itself. But every age produces a voice willing to ask the forbidden question. What if history misunderstood the difference between protection and possession? Power rarely begins with cruelty. More often, it begins with fear, and over time, fear quietly disguises itself as tradition. A man who feared becoming emotionally dependent could mistake love for weakness and control for security. So education was denied, independence was restricted, even a woman's destiny was too often written by someone else's hand. History shows many societies placed severe limits on women. These practices were not universal, but they reveal how fear can become institutionalized. Yet every wall built to protect one person also imprisoned another, and eventually both forgot what freedom truly looked like. Then comes the question history rarely asked. Were men and women ever meant to compete, or were they meant to complete one another? Nature rarely creates perfect copies. It creates differences, not to divide life, but to make cooperation possible. A forest thrives because every tree grows differently. Diversity is not disorder, it is the architecture of balance. A child needs tenderness to feel safe and guidance to face the world. Love and discipline are not rivals, they are partners. The problem begins when difference is mistaken for superiority, or equality is mistaken for sameness. Imagine a generation that inherits not our fears, but our understanding. A generation free to choose partnership over power. When two unique strengths meet with respect, they don't erase each other. They build bridges neither could build alone. Strength gives the bridge its foundation. Compassion gives it purpose. Alone, each remains incomplete. The wisest civilizations were never built by one voice. They endured because different voices learned to listen. Perhaps the greatest invention in human history was never a machine or an empire, but the decision to walk forward together. History's greatest civilizations were not sustained by power alone, but by countless acts of care, trust, sacrifice, and cooperation.
The strongest walls were never built from stone. They were built from fear. And every wall begins to crumble the moment understanding takes its place. Men and women are not two separate species competing for superiority. They belong to one humanity, moving toward the same future. Equality does not demand sameness. Difference does not imply inequality. Every unique quality becomes meaningful when it serves something greater than itself. Man and woman are not unequal, neither equal. They are unique. And when two unique qualities merge, something miraculous invention occurs.